In India Inc., Yes Bank is set to get its first non-promoter CEO from the 1st of March. Ravneet Gill, who's currently heading Deutsche Bank's operations in India, will take over the corner office at Yes Bank. The bank's stock rallied as much as 19%, even after reporting a worsening of asset quality in the third quarter due to a 2,500 crore rupee exposure to IL&FS. My colleague Ritu Singh is here with more details. Ritu, a new era at Yes Bank, isn't it?
Gill, the India head for Deutsche Bank, has been named the MD and CEO of Yes Bank effective 1st of March 2019. However, do remember, Rana Kapoor, the current CEO, has to step down by the 31st of January, that is the end of this month, and therefore the 29th of January board meeting that the bank is set to hold is going to be crucial to decide what the interim phase of transition is going to be, whether an interim CEO would have to be named. That is something that will be decided in that 29th of January board meeting. Now, Ravneet Gill, of course, brings with him almost 3 decades of banking experience, and his last role was, as the India head of Deutsche Bank, which he joined back in 2012. Lots of key challenges that he'll have to face when he joins the bank. But, as far as the third quarter numbers are concerned, it was a miss on the profits, which declined by about 7% over the previous year, largely on account of the slippages that the bank had in their IL&FS exposure. Gross NPAs jumped to 2.1% in this quarter, and net NPAs to 1.18%. And the fresh slippages, which is the fresh addition to bad loans, was at 2,297 crore rupees, of which about 1,913 crores was only on account of the IL&FS exposure, which has now been classified bad. The remaining exposure of the total 2,530 crore rupees remains standard, but a 15% provisioning has been made on that as well. And the credit cost guidance has been upped to about 80 basis points for the entire financial year.
Ritu, thanks for that. Now, Yes Bank isn't the only company to name a new CEO today. Indigo as well has appointed Ronojoy Datta as its CEO with immediate effect. Ronojoy had joined the airline as a consultant in December last year. Anu Sharma joins us with more details. Anu, take us through Ronojoy Datta's street credentials.
So, veteran in aviation space, Ronojoy Datta has been appointed as the Chief Executive Officer of Indigo today with immediate effect. The country's largest airline has got a full-time CEO after Aditya Ghosh made an exit in April last year after a 10-year stint. Now, it's important to note that here that Greg Taylor, who was the CEO appointee until December, made a sudden exit from the company and tendered his resignation last month, days after Ronojoy Datta was appointed as the principal consultant to form a 5-year plan. Now, with respect to Ronojoy Datta's experience in aviation, he has served over 2 decades in international airlines with nearly 17 years at US-based giant United Airlines, where he also served as its president for nearly 4 years. Also, he has served as at different capacities at Air Canada, US Airways. Back home, he also served as the president of the erstwhile Air Sahara for nearly 2 years in mid-2000s. So, with experienced international hands, incoming long-range and larger fleet of Airbus A321 Neos, and the management's yesterday commentary on tapping the low-cost international market, Indigo is clearly planning to aggressively increase its international market share, which stands at 6% now. Back to you.
Thanks for getting us those details. Meanwhile, there's fresh trouble for Chanda Kochar, the former MD and CEO of ICICI Bank. The Central Bureau of Investigation has registered an FIR against Chanda, her husband Deepak Kochar, who's the MD of New Power Renewables, and Venugopal Dhoot, the MD of Videocon Group. Videocon Industries has also been named in the FIR. The FIR comes in connection with the CBI probing allegations of ICICI Bank granting a loan to the Videocon Group on a quid pro quo basis. Meanwhile, the CBI today carried out raids in as many as 4 locations across Mumbai and in Aurangabad. Utkarsh Chaturvedi joins us from outside the Videocon headquarters in Bandra in Mumbai. Utkarsh.
So in fact, as you said, there are 4 locations where the raids are on. The raids started after CBI launched an FIR in this case. Now remember that it was back in December last year that the company, that CBI had launched a preliminary inquiry, and from a long time they have been really probing this case, and it is today that the official FIR has been launched. As you said, the names in the FIR also include Chanda Kochar, Deepak Kochar, Venugopal Dhoot, NU Power. One more company owned by Venugopal Dhoot and Videocon Industries Limited. As we speak, 2 offices of Videocon, the headquarters, which is behind me, as well as one more office of Videocon in Aurangabad is being raided. The search parties are still looking for the documents which they are looking for. Also, the office of NU Power is being raided by the CBI officials. In fact, if you look at the FIR, a very important aspect from the FIR, one is obviously the story which we have really heard, on the basis of which the PE was really filed. But what is more important is the role of other members as well. In fact, there's one part of the FIR which I would like to read for my viewers, which says that loans of around 1,500 crores were sanctioned on various dates by various committees having senior officials of ICICI Bank, as Shri Sandeep Bakshi, K. Ram Kumar, K.V. Kama. So remember that, and it is also being said that their roles will also be probed. So it is not only Chanda Kocher's role which will be probed by CBI, but other current serving members and senior officials of ICICI Bank can also be called for questioning, and their role will be probed if CBI really intends to expand the scope of this investigation.
Utkarsh, many thanks for bringing us up to speed with that development. Meanwhile, Aditya Mittal has broken his silence. Delay in SR Steel insolvency case is costing PSU Bank 17 crore rupees per day. That's the word coming in from ArcelorMittal's Aditya Mittal. Speaking exclusively to CNBC TV 18 on the sidelines of the World Economic Summit in Davos, Mittal rubbished the idea that there is need of a revised offer on the backdrop of the new bid by the Ruiyas. Mittal, however, expressed optimism that SR Steel resolution is headed for a good conclusion, despite the delay in the IBC process.
Let me ask you about whether you were surprised about State Bank of India's decision to put that 15,500 crores of the SR Steel exposure on the block. Of course, the deadline for that has now been extended. How do you see that playing out and what the implications could be on the IBC process?
I think that's another demonstration why the process needs to come to a logical conclusion and a speedy conclusion, right? The state banks are losing 17 crores a day. Okay, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for India. They can utilize those funds, redeploy it to enhance liquidity in the country, redeploy it, give loans, and boost growth. Yet instead, because of all of these actions and delay tactics, they're requesting bids at an 18% discount to our offer, right? 18% discount. That's a lot of money that's being put on the table. And that's why it's very important that the core processes and the rule-based IBC is implemented, because otherwise, in the big picture, the country is losing a lot of value.
You know, you talked about value maximization, and I go back to the statement that came in from SR Steel saying that their offer is in line with the objective of the IBC to enhance value maximization, not just for lenders but also for operational creditors, and their offer is better than the resolution plan that was cleared, 12,000 crore rupees better. How do you respond to that?
So that's very interesting, because when you read the media reports, the first offer that they made was 20,000 crores, right? So if it wasn't for our...
Now in excess of 54,000
No, but if you go back to day one, it was 20,000 crores, right?
But now I'm talking about now the revised offer.
Okay, so let's talk about the revised offer. You have to follow a rule-based process, and that's what my answer was going to be. Because if you do not follow a rule-based process, companies like us and others will not participate as a promoter bidding for a company. Then what you would have seen is that SR Steel would have been sold to New Metal / Ruiyas for 20,000 crores. That would have been a massive loss. And then future bad loans, future companies which are not able to service the debt, the promoters would come back and buy it back at a discount, because the SR Steel would demonstrate that you don't have to follow the rules. So it's not just about our case.
So you believe that this is a subversion of the IBC?
Yeah, absolutely, right? Because the IBC process was very clear. The courts were very clear. There were chances to submit bids. I mean, we all know this is not a process we started yesterday, right? It's almost 2 years. And so now suddenly the COC has decided, they've chose the winning bid to come in at the last moment. I mean, I don't even think the bid is financed. There's no guarantees. There's no penalties, because in the IBC process you provide guarantees. If you forfeit your bid, you know, all of those things are there. So it's an unfortunate development, and clearly the courts will take the right decision. I have a lot of faith in a rule-based economy as India, and that should be logical.
You know, that's the point of view of SR, but that point of view has also been bolstered by somebody like Sajjan Jindal, also perhaps an interested party in some senses, or at least was in the previous avatar of the bid with New Metal. What do you make of Sajjan Jindal saying that, look, the SR family should get the right to go through with this if they can finance it?
Look, I think all promoters have the right to buy back their companies by paying back 100 cents on the dollar, but not 540 days later, right? They should, first of all, not allow the company to go under, right? That's the first requirement. And if the company has gone under, try and find a solution as soon as you can. First submit a bid of 20,000 and then, mess around with the process, I don't think is a promoter trying to act in the best interest of creditors.
Is there a possibility at all, and we saw this play out as far as Arcelor is concerned, that there was a last-minute sweetening of the offer? Is that a possibility that you would consider, given the fact that SR continues to bring up the fact that there is a 12,000 crore rupee difference between what they're offering and your offer?
Look, I think we've gone through 540 days. I think what the banks are really focused on is coming to the right conclusion. But
is this even a possibility, a revised offer on your part?
There's no need, right? The COC has taken a decision. We're in the courts to approve the resolution plan. So at this point in time, I think our bid, if you just looked at the scoring when the bids were open, was far in excess of anything on the table. And today the banks are willing to sell at a discount to our bid. So I think the discussion is not about the bid. The discussion is really about
the
process, making sure that the employees of SR Steel have a clear future, making sure that we can make the investments, improve the business, grow the business, and bring in our capabilities to India.
Let's continue talking about the SR Steel case. We told you first, and it's official now, SBI has extended the deadline for the sale of its SR Steel loans. The lender has extended the deadline for the submission of bids to the 30th of January and has pushed the e-bidding deadline to the 11th of February. Remember, SBI has a total exposure of over 15,000 crore rupees to SR Steel. Take a quick look at the action on Dalal Street today. After a steep fall in yesterday's trading session, markets took a breather and ended with slim gains. Nifty saw a sharp recovery in the last hour of trade to end just shy of the 10,850 mark. Sensex also ended just below the 36,200 level. The banks ended flat with a positive bias led by a sharp uptick in Yes Bank stock. Mid-caps underperformed today. The index ended about 0.3% in the negative territory. But let's get you a CNBC TV18 exclusive from the deal space. We learned from sources that Japanese multinational Sony Entertainment is in talks to pick up a stake in Z Entertainment. Remember, over Diwali weekend last year, the promoters informed exchanges that they're looking to sell up to half of their shareholding in the company. Nisha Podar, who broke that story for us, joins us with more details. Nisha, so which are the companies that have shown interest to buy a stake in Z Entertainment?
It's still early days when it comes to Z Entertainment transaction, but sources with direct knowledge share with CNBC TV18 that Sony, a large Japanese multinational conglomerate, has evinced interest in buying out stake in Z Entertainment. Part or full, those negotiations are going on right now. But remember that Sony Entertainment Television, or Set India, is the only meaningful broadcasting business by Sony, the multinational firm, in the world. So in India as a geography is the only space in which they have a large broadcasting network, and they could be looking at beefing it up. Now remember that Sony had lost out in the battle for 21st Century Fox, which was up for sale, lost it out to Disney overseas, and Fox operates, remember, Star network here in India. So if not Star, it could be looking at Z Entertainment as an option to beef up its broadcast television business here in India. So that's one of the contenders, but American firm Comcast is also looking at a bigger, larger pie in India, as well as Tencent and Alibaba. The Chinese investors could look at it, and Amazon for the over-the-top video services that Z Entertainment offers. That could be one of the attractions for Amazon. So this particular deal talks is going on right now. The final first round of bids could be expected in the next few days to come.
Thanks, Nisha. Let's take a look at some other stories that are making headlines right now. Piyush Goyal today took charge as the interim finance minister. Goyal assumed charge as Arun Jaitley underwent a surgery in the United States and has been advised 2 weeks rest. With just a week to go before the interim budget, Goyal is expected to present the budget in Jaitley's absence. Remember, this is the second time that Goyal has taken charge as the interim finance minister. In May 2018, when Jaitley underwent a kidney transplant, was the first time. Prime Minister Modi-led selection committee meets this evening to discuss the appointment of the next CBI director. Sources tell CNBC TV18 that the centre has shortlisted names of 12 to 15 IPS officers for the CBI top post. Clean record, Seniority, tenure in CBI and an experience in handling anti-corruption and criminal cases are the criteria set for the appointment. There's more trouble for Akhilesh Yadav. The Gomti Riverfront development project in Lucknow that was approved by him has come under the lens for allegedly money laundering. The Enforcement Directorate has conducted raids across 10 places in Delhi, Haryana, Rajasthan and UP. The ED raids come just a couple of weeks after the CBI raids in the illegal mining case. Arvind Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party has hinted at extending support to the Congress party after the Lok Sabha polls. Addressing a gathering of imams in Delhi, Kejriwal said that he would support anybody for the post of Prime Minister except the current Prime Minister Modi and BJP President Amit Shah. Aam Aadmi Party MLA Amnatullah Khan, who was also present at the event, said that his party is ready to support Congress at the centre to defeat the BJP.
कांग्रेस का चुनाव इसी बात पे होना चाहिए कि किस तरह से मोदी और अमित शाह की जोड़ी को हटाना है। प्रधानमंत्री कौन बनेगा इसके चक्कर में मत पड़ जाना। जो मर्जी बने प्रधानमंत्री, मोदी और अमित शाह के अलावा जो भी प्रधानमंत्री बन रहा होगा हम उसको समर्थन करेंगे। अब आगे गणित के ऊपर, वोट तो गणित का मामला है। दिल्ली के अंदर आप सब लोग ये अच्छे से समझ के जाना और आगे ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को समझा सको समझाना। आज कांग्रेस दिल्ली के अंदर बीजेपी को हरा नहीं सकती। आज केवल और केवल आम आदमी पार्टी ही दिल्ली में भाजपा को हरा सकती है।
Now, IKEA CEO Jesper Broding is betting big on the India story. In an exclusive conversation with Shireen Bhan in Davos, Broding reiterated that the response to their Hyderabad store has been phenomenal and that has motivated them to take risks and expand in other metros as well. Here's a slice of that exclusive conversation.
Okay, but what's the experience been like since you opened, both in terms of sales, in terms of being able to get the IKEA brand going in India? What's that experience been like?
You can say the reception has been phenomenal. From a brand perspective, we are way above expectations. So the way we went from 2% top of mind awareness to way above 70 during the period since the opening has been a surprise. Nothing we've seen anywhere else in the world. Sales is good. We're learning, but we also spent a lot of time in our research before, together with thousands of visits in homes, to ask people what is relevant for them. We develop products for so it's not only the generic IKEA offer, but it's really both the functions, but also the products that match the wallet size of people in Hyderabad. So I think we're quite happy with the development after the first 6 months.
Next stop now in India, and I know that you've been acquiring land across the country in order for you to be able to scale up. Give me a sense of what we can expect in 2019 and beyond.
Yeah. In the past we used to open a store and learn, reflect and then move on. But in India we decided to tempted by the amazing expectation of shift in demography and development in economy, to take the risk to put the spade in the ground in many places. So we basically, in both Mumbai and in Bangalore, already started to work on our next stores. We're in Delhi looking at sites in different places and locations. So the ambition is to be rather fast in trying to bring IKEA to more cities.
Mm-hmm. So how soon can we expect these stores to open in Delhi, in Bombay and in the other areas that you're looking at?
Well, it depends on the monsoon, it depends on a lot of things, but I think Mumbai is about a year from now. Within a year, I would say, and Bangalore not far from that. And Delhi, it's a bit early to say because we haven't figured out all the details yet, but within a few years we would see IKEA in more cities.
That was the IKEA CEO speaking exclusively to us on their India business. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Reporter's Diary. Many thanks for watching, but do stay tuned. Up next, we get you an exclusive interaction with Bill Gates, the co-founder of Microsoft, from the sidelines of the World Economic Forum 2019. He explains why investing in healthcare can save lives and offer bumper returns.